Hey, welcome to Salt and Pauper. We're going to continue our Unfinity Set evaluation for the Pauper format. We're going to jump right in with the red cards. Alright, so next we jump into red. First card up is Big Winner, which is a 4-mana 5/2 for 3 in a red. Ogre Warrior Guest. It has trample as long as you control a stickered permanent. This is one of the cards that make me wish that the stack blocks were just +X instead of, like, replacement effects. So, like, I really want to give this, like, +1/+4 for 2 tickets. You know, I don't want this to become a 1/4. As it is, I think this is one of the worst cares about stickers, because you never want to sticker it. It has the aggressive stat block, and if you give it a toughness-oriented stat block, you sacrifice all its power, so it's really just trading off the ability to use its effect effectively. I don't think 4 mana for a 5/2 is going to be good enough, but this is definitely going to, like, bash some slower decks and limited's face in until people start playing around it.
Yeah, 4 mana is fine for a 5/2. It laughs at tokens, you know, so that's a thing. I just looked up a bunch of other 5/2s, and this is seemingly going to be that stat block that everyone forgets about, because there's so many creatures here that were good in their limited format that have gone nowhere since.
Yeah.
There's things like Blitz Leech, like the most successful card out of here with that stat line and trample is the Crimson Fleet Commodore.
Yes. But that gave Monarch.
Well, yeah. Turns out drawing multiple cards is good.
Alright. Next up is Circus Act. It's the next token production card. It's a 3-mana sorcery this time. And it says, roll 3 6-sided dice. For each different result, create a 1/1 white clown robot artifact creature token. So, this is an exponential decrease in likelihood where your average is going to be just over 2. So, there are unfortunately going to be casts of this card where you get 1 token and hate that you're playing it. But the majority of the time you're going to get 2+ and you're going to feel pretty good about this card. I think this is just slightly worse than the white one, though, to be honest. The white one has a guarantee of 2 with the option of 50-50ing for +1. This is a chance to only hit 1 token, and even though it's very small, it seems bad.
Yeah. That's a very narrow floor. But when you do hit the one, you're going to feel awful about it.
Yeah.
I would say this is... the first cast is as good or better than Goblin Gathering, but every subsequent cast is not.
Yeah, it's only worse.
Yeah, it only has the possibility to be worse. So, I would say that this card on the first cast is better, just because of the relevant card type of the tokens, making them artifacts again, just like the white card from above.
Yeah, I like that this is a red card because it lines up really well with Galvanic Bolt. Or Galblast, sorry, not Galv.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, I don't know. This card seems like a risk I'm not willing to take in my red deck. The margins for those decks is so small that any chance for inconsistency needs to be minimized, and this card is just too much of a variance.
Yeah, that, and there's better ways to deal damage in those red decks.
Yep. Next is a really interesting card that I think might actually be in the realm of possibility. It requires a little bit of setup, but it's interesting. So we have Electrocute, which is a 2-mana instant, deal 2 damage to any target. but it says you may cast it from the graveyard as long as you've rolled a 6 this turn. And then if you cast it, you exile it. So this is an optional, like, condition. This is a conditional flashback, basically. I haven't seen anything in red that requires you to roll a d6 outside of Circus Act, the card we just looked at. If there are more, so that you have options that fit in kind of the burn or red aggro strategy that lets you roll d6 and keep applying pressure through it, you will eventually hit a 6, which means you can recast a few of these from your graveyard. I'm not opposed to that. I think that could be a line for this card to see play in competitive Pauper, but as it stands, this is almost always just going to interact with your attractions, because you get to roll on your main phase a d6 to visit your attractions in limited, so you're going to have an every turn reliable way to roll a die, and eventually you're going to get hit a 6, which lets you recast this, so you get optional upside value. I think this card is quite good in limited. This is the only direct damage spell we've seen thus far. Besides the roll a die black card. But in constructed, I don't think it's going to be consistent enough to warrant a spot in the red deck unless there's a lot of roll of 6-sided die cards in red that we haven't seen yet, and we're getting to the back of red, so I don't think it's coming. And then it's almost certainly not strong enough in cube, and next to, like, Stagger Shock and things of that nature. Those are just gonna take precedence most of the time, I feel like.
Yeah, Stagger Shock's a good analog. I think that Fire Bolt is also good for comparison.
Yep.
However, Firebolt is a sorcery on both sides. This is an instant at least on the front end. The other stuff in here, aside from one creature I've seen, and we'll come up upon it a little bit later, is sorcery roll dice. Like Circus Act, the card we saw most recently. Roll 3 6-sided die. I think is going to be your best bet to play Electrocute from your graveyard. But that's 5 mana. 7 if you got 2. It's difficult. And if you got 7 mana, 2 damage usually isn't that much.
Sure. Definitely.
For paying 7 total. 4 damage. It's red's common removal, though, so it's... I think you want this card against Big Winner, which was the card we saw 2 cards ago, the 5/2 for 4. There's going to be a bunch of X2s, and it's a good card,
Worth noting that 4/2 is one of the cheap stat blocks, so although I personally think the 2/4 body is going to be better most of the time, there are people that are going to get greedy and slam a 4/2 body onto their thing, and you're going to get you a lot with this card.
Yeah. So this card, played as a 2-mana shock, and just hope that the other roll dice cards you have hit a 6, and then you can actually get much more value out of it and feel good playing your multiple copies. But yeah, expect it to be a 2-mana shock, and that's what I gotta say there.
Yep. All right. Next is Mind Goblin, as it's being colloquially known. This is if any card is going to make sticker sheets required for competitive play, this is the card that's going to do it. I'm not excited about it. Blank Goblin is a 2/2 Goblin Gas for 3, 2 and a red. When it enters the battlefield, you put a name sticker on it, add red mana for each unique vowel. Once again, optimal sticker sheets allow you 1 sticker with a 6, 2 stickers with a 5, 6 stickers with a 4, and 1 sticker with a 3 of your choice. There are a plethora of them. But you have a 100% chance on first cast to be mana positive on this card. 100% chance. That is a chance that is high enough for people to build around. Now, that being said, flickering this card does not generate a continual spread of mana because you have to use a new sticker each time unless you have a way to bounce this to your hand or deck to remove the stickers to rebuy them. In Commander, this card is almost certainly going to be played along something like Cloudstone Curio to generate infinite mana. So, be prepared for that if you're a Commander player. You're going to see this card with stickers a lot. In Pauper Constructed, people are talking about this card being played in Mogwarts to help accelerate your timeline. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know that this card is going to be able to create a meaningful interaction in Mogwarts, but there is definitely something here. This is almost, this is 70% of the time as it comes out with the additive odds after the first and second sticker sheets are selected for this to be a Seething Song with feet, at least on your first cast. So you will 70% of the time be able to cash this in as a 2/2 for 3 that generates 5 red. Sometimes you will be able to cast it to generate 6 red, and other times you may only get 4, but you are guaranteed to get at least 4. I'm not happy that this card is probably going to be good. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't like this either. That it has the highest possibility or probability even of being in constructed Pauper. It is cool that it says that sticker, not in stickers among permanents you control. So you do have to have the Cloudstone Curio interaction of putting it into a hidden zone.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, still, that's. It's cards like this that make me really happy that really the Storm payoffs in just the instant kill are gone. But 6 mana is a lot on turn 3. If all of the cards from this set are not banned as I want them to be, or not played, then I really hope this card gets some sort of special treatment in that way. There's just too many extra stuff to have to play alongside your deck just for this one card.
Yeah, I'm not excited that of all the cards, stickers, tickets, everything, this is probably the one that is going to make everyone register a sticker deck. I genuinely hope that they ban everything that says the word sticker on it from the Pauper format. Nobody asked for this, dude. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wants this. If you want it in your casual formats and your kitchen table Magic, man, keep it. It's all yours. We don't want it, dude. It's it's have fun, but don't nobody signed up for it. I certainly don't want to have to play around it, and I certainly don't want to have to worry about stickers. I really don't. I'm not excited about this card. I think it's probably going to be good, and I know a bunch of people are already brewing around it, and I'm not happy about it. I would love for this to find a home in EDH and not be good enough in Pauper. That would be fine with me. I just don't want stickers in Pauper, and I think this is the most likely culprit of that being the case.
I concur.
Next up, we have a pretty good red card. It's Minotaur Divorce. It's a 2-mana, 2/1 haste for a red and a colorless Minotaur performer. When it enters the battlefield, get 1 ticket, put a sticker on an on-land permanent. I like that this has haste.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your first one, it's just a 2/1 for 2 with haste that gets in there on turn 2. Your second one, you can make this like a 4/2 with haste if you want it to be. You can make this 2/4 with haste if you want it to be. You can put on some weird stuff like double strike or double prowess or something on your second cast, then follow it up with a removal spell and get in there for 4. There's a lot that this card can do. I think this is probably, funny enough they're in order, I think this is probably one of the next most likely cards to get stickers played. This and then the chicken that we'll get to in green are probably the next most likely culprits. I think this card's quite good and has a chance of being played just as it is. But if a sticker deck does show up, it's almost certainly going to be playing the Goblin next to this card. And I think this card's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you said it. This card, the first one, 2 mana, 2/1, swinging for raised, not bad. You don't hate that early on. The next cast of it just gets better too. Just bumping up the power toughness, still maintaining haste. Like this is a card that red decks like. That just grows with time.
Mm-hmm.
It was worth noting the third one's not as good, but it's red, so you're probably not going to draw the third one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but that's about it.
All right. Next up is the NonHuman Cannonball. It's a 3-mana clown robot. It's a 4/3 artifact creature for 2 and a red. When a non-human cannonball dies, roll a 6-sided die. If the result is 4 or less, deals that much damage to you.
Hey, look, a card with a drawback.
Yeah, no kidding. And I think this card's probably terrible.
But this is the instant speed card I was talking about that lets you possibly roll a 6.
Oh, sure.
The others are sorceries. So when they kill that and you roll a 6, you're going to feel great. When they kill that and you roll a 5, you're going to feel okay. When they kill it and you roll a 4, you're going to feel real dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, a 4 on this card is so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see why they didn't keep the templating for the black one. 3 or less.
Yeah, I'm with
That's
you there.
Still hurtful, but I'd be willing to take that chance.
Because as the flavor text implies, it is designed for maximum impact, Josh. 3 just wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm. When you're right, you're right.
Alright, let's see. Next up is One Clown Band. It's a 1/3 clown robot bard for 2, 1 and a red. Target robot gets +2/+0 until end of turn for 3, 2 and a red. Activated ability. It's interesting to me that they gave this the bard typing. Because that was specific to adventures and the D&D setting sets.
Mm-hmm.
And carried into the party mechanic. So it's interesting to me that they gave us another common bard.
Was it party? Cleric, rogue, warrior, wizard, yeah?
Oh, is bard not part of it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's awkward. Alright.
I know, it should be.
It should be, I agree.
Like druid.
Yeah. I don't understand why they're not. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. This has weird fire breathing. It's an artifact, which is automatically bad for most formats. It's a 1/3 for 2, which is just kind of meh. And it's a robot. And it's an artifact. I don't know. This card seems pretty bad. I'm not playing this in much.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there a 1-mana wolf that has the same activated ability?
Yep.
It's better?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Alright. Yeah,
And it has haste.
I mean, it's just like the last one is a colored artifact, so there's that.
So your artifact gets blue blasted? Yep, that's definitely helping.
Yeah. Hey, look, Rad Rascal.
Hey, look, Rad Rascal. It's a 4-mana 3/3 for 3 and a red. It's a devil employee. When it enters the battlefield, open an attraction. Devil Knievel's Scooter Rentals is a pretty amazing reference in the art, but outside of that, this card seems bad. moving along to Slight Malfunction, which is actually a card worth talking about. It's 2-mana sorcery, red and a colorless. Choose one. Destroy target artifact or roll a 6-sided die. When you do, deals 1 damage to each of up to X target creatures, where X is the result. This seems like a strictly worse version of the card we just got.
Yeah. So this card 2 sets ago would have been great.
Right? But now it's missing a relevant mode, and you have to roll a die to ping when you should just be able to ping your whole enemy's board.
No. You get to roll a die to miss some of your enemy's board.
Maybe you could roll a 6 and recast your 2-mana shocks.
Yeah, that's fair. It is up to X target creatures, so you could just hit those 3 that they have, and I don't know.
Yeah, once again, I really wish this was like a pool of 1 damage pings that you could just assign out,
Mm-hmm. X damage divided as you choose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is just not as good as the card we got out of Dom U that's just destroy an artifact, destroy a defender, or falter the entire board. Not falter. Fisher your enemy's board. Yeah.
X damage divided as you choose seems real strong.
Yeah, but only to creatures. It would have been fine as a 2-mana sorcery. Like, look at a Braid. A Braid's an instant.
Yeah, an average I understand is like 3.5 damage. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, the variance on it's good enough.
Sorcery. Like, if it was an instant, I could see an argument for that being too good. But as a sorcery and you're rolling a die, like, that can roll 1. Like, all right. Next up is Wii Champion, which is a 0/1 for 1 red Minotaur Child Guest. Whenever you place a sticker, it gets 1/1 until end of turn. If it's an art sticker, instead put a 1/1 counter on it. I'm not excited at this card. I don't think this is going anywhere that I want to follow it. I don't want art stickers. I don't want a 0/1 for 1 in red. Yeah, that's about it. I'm pretty unexcited by this card.
Yeah, it doesn't even have a hat.
Right. The guy in the background is, though.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, that wraps up all the red cards for the Unfinity set. Let us know if you think we got anything wrong down in the comments, or just drop something for the algorithm. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for all the love and support on the early days of this channel. It really does help, and it means a lot to me. Looking forward to bringing you guys more Pauper content. We have the next video, the last one, green, coming next. Make sure you guys look out for that. Click on one of these videos to see more content, and goodbye forever. We'll see you in the next one.